battle review, and in this one we've got Marvel's Mech Strike Monster Hunters issue 5, which is actually the last issue for this particular series, and moving into DC Mech issue 4 of 6. So quite likely next time this goes up, there won't be anything Marvel to take its place, unless I can find something that I might be able to put in its place that's Marvel related, but it might be something earlier too. So as you can see here, we've got Mech Strike Monster Hunters, which is written by Christos Gage, and I do enjoy what Christos Gage did in Ninjak at Valiant, and I've also heard that he's also done some really good work even at DC too, with the what was it, the Fortnite related stuff, I think it was. So I'll get things ready for the first one that will be reviewed, and that will be Mech Strike Monster Hunters. First things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. I'll now get things set up as we start to cover the beginning of the story and is happening art-wise. And as we move into the beginning of the story, we see that this takes place in Latveria with Dr. Doom and some of the things that are happening there. And of course, we've got Hulk in his suit and Iron Man in his, just around the beginning of the story. I'll now draw things a little bit closer towards the middle of the story. And oh, it seems I forgot some heroes to put down. I did go through this pretty quickly, but apart from that, it is really nice. So here's something a little bit more closer towards the middle, and we can see Dr. Doom being fought against by a lot of characters, including Groot. You name it, they're practically there. Even a Captain America. The list just goes on with how many people actually are a part of the cast. And of course, we've got Groot doing what he does best. And last but not least, moving towards the end, to Dr. Doom's eventual defeat. But one little thing that I do like up near here is this up towards the end, to which we actually get to see the Watcher in this universe. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move to the story rating. First things first, did we get any comic book references? And sure enough, we did. Tales to Astonish, issue 13. Did we get any indication of time when things were taking place? Not really, but we did get a number of locations, and one was, of course, Latveria, to which the end battle was happening. Of course, the Blue Moon and the home of the Watcher, and that was really nice. The cast of characters consisting of the Watcher, Thanos, Loki, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, Groot, Rocket, Ghost Spider, Iron Man, Black Panther, Hulk, and last but not least, Wasp. Overall story rating for this I gave was a 7 out of 10. I'll now get things as quickly prepared as possible for the next issue reviewed. I do apologize for any delays, as I don't have all my equipment here. They have been taken by the infected. Alright, moving into DC Mech. I must admit, this story I think has been getting better and better as it continues on. So first things first, in relation to the covers, do these covers in any shape or form connect to something that's happening in relation to the story? Sure enough, they do, to which I give them both a 7.5 out of 10. I'll now move into the internal art, as well as some of the things that are happening internally story-wise. So as we move into the beginning of this story, in this issue, we've had Kal-El end up on the Kent farm, and I'm thinking that this might actually lead to this character maybe taking up the name of Clark Kent, just the way this part of the story was written out, and could certainly maybe see that foreshadowed or be foreshadowed should they do a another series connected to this. So as we can see here, we've got Kal-El's ship that he turned up in, and of course he's talking with Ma and Pa Kent on their farm, and they got quite a pretty decent farm actually. But of course they've got them locals that are pretty much on the same page as Lex Luthor, that sort of don't like aliens taking their spotlight. Moving in to a little bit closer to the middle, we end up jumping into Central City, and we also find out what's happening with the Flash, which we learn is Barry Allen, or we know is Barry Allen. And of course, a bit of a discussion with Wonder Woman. Alright, and there is actually something I wanted to share here. Something that I saw in the story. No, that's not it. Was it there, or was it a little bit further towards the end? But it actually had to do with Bruce Wayne's backstory in this. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. Okay, this is towards the end of this issue, and we've got Gotham, and we actually start to learn as to why actually Bruce feels the way he feels in relation to, or you can sort of get to understand why he felt the way he felt when Kal-El turned up on the scene, and we learned that in his past, well, his parents were killed off by parademons. Monster-sized parademons. And I must admit, it's a very interesting yet intriguing backstory for this particular Bruce Wayne. Who'd ever thought that Bruce Wayne's parents would be killed off by parademons? And of course, we sort of see how Lex plays a part. And finally, these two, Bruce and Kal-El, come to a mutual understanding. And I think that's really good in this story. So for the internal art, I gave a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the story rating. And first things first is, did it address the area of time? As we got no comic references. And by the way this story's going, I haven't seen any comic references being brought up at all. Though if they do, I'll have to remember to add them to the review. But what we did get is we did actually get times as to when things were taking place. The first things was 6 weeks later, and that was taking place in Smallville. A little bit later on, we had 3 years ago connected to Central City. And of course, 14 years ago connected to Gotham City. Moving into the locations that showed up in the story, we had Smallville, Star City, Central City, of course, Earth itself, the Watchtower, Gotham City, and also one of Lex Luthor's bunkers. Moving into the cast of characters, we had Mara Park Kent, Kal-El, who I believe is later on going to become Clark Kent in this storyline, or actually in this universe. Of course, we had The Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Kellex, who actually made an appearance, Batman, Lex Luthor, and last but not least, we also had an appearance of Bizarro. So that was really interesting. So until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day. Issue 5. And first things first, does this cover in any way, shape, or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough, it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. We'll now move to seeing some of the internal art around the beginning, middle, and end, as well as some of the things that are happening story-wise. So as we start to jump towards the beginning, we have something happening here with the Green Lanterns and their mech, and how it operates. And of course, we've got Barry Allen, Batman, other members of what will be known as the Justice Squadron at the end of the book. So as we start to move towards the middle, we see that they come up against one of Darkseid's enemy, or one of Darkseid's minions, and they go up and fight against him. Jump a little bit more towards the end, and of course we've got Wonder Woman in that, and of course we get to see Metropolis here, and also what's happening here with Kal-El's mech, until we finally move into the end. And last but not least, the Justice Squadron. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the next area, and that is the story and the things that make up the racing for the story. So first things first, did we get any indication of anything time related? Sure enough, we did, which we got moments later. The next area is that of location, to which we had Earth's fleet. So we had a fleet of mech traveling to go up against Darkseid. We also had Luthor's bunker in a secret place. We had Star City, Tokyo, and the Pacific Ocean that made an appearance in the story. The cast of characters consisting of Hal Jordan, Barry Allen, The Flash. We of course had Wonder Woman, Kal-El, Batman, and Lex Luthor in this particular story. For the overall story rating in this, I really felt that this really dropped the ball in the story, and it really lacked a lot. So hopefully it will make up in the last issue, to which I give this issue a 6.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day. Review, and in this DC review I am covering DC Mech, to which this actually finishes off this series, and I must admit this has had some highs and lows with some of the things in it, but overall it has been an interesting series. So first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside of the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. It's now time to move into the internal art, to which we get to have a bit of a look as well, what's happening story-wise. So as things begin, we have a lot of things happening in space. We finally have Superman in this universe with his practically iconic version, well, of his suit, but in mech suit version. And it looks a little bit more identifiable. And of course, we've got Batman here in his Bat Mech suit. And here's one thing I sort of like in this, and that is the Batmite virus. So, using something from the fifth dimension on a new god or something new god related. So, jumping into the story a little bit further until we start to reach the middle. There's a bit of a fight happening here in regards to Darkseid, and of course he seems to have his own mech as well. The story advances, of course. We end up meeting with the Justice Leaguers of this. And we have, well, Superman greeting Bizarro, or the Bizarro of this universe, who also helps in what happens. And last but not least, towards the end, to which they end up finishing off in Metropolis, and it looks like we've got a Hawkman mech, plus a couple of others. So for the internal art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. For the story, let's move on to that right now. First things first, did we get anything in regards to time? No, we didn't. The location, we had Darkseid's throne room. We had, of course, space and Luthor's bunker, or Lex Luthor's bunker, in a secret location. The cast of characters consisting of Batman, Flash, Superman, the Green Lanterns, like their version of the mech, Lex Luthor, Bizarro, of course, Lois and Jimmy Olsen made an appearance, Kellex, and Sinestro made an appearance too. So the overall story rating for this I gave was a 7 out of 10. I think it could have finished off a little bit better, but considering that this is a small limited series, there might be a good possibility for something like this returning again in DC's future. Do I think it probably reached maybe a mech audience that might have been interested in this? Quite likely. I must admit, I'm personally not big into mech, but if you deliver a story that I really come to enjoy and it's got mech in it, okay, you can definitely see me promote it. One good hint of that would be the Neon Genesis Evangelion series. It's one classic series that I absolutely enjoy and would definitely recommend. Movies and all. Well, until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.